You have a TV?
No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. You don't need a TV.
Television addict! Television addict! Television addict!
Tonight on the Disney Sunday Movie, the Davises are moving into a new house.
Definite fixer-upper.
Where the tenants are deceased, but not departed.
This house is not haunted.
Keep an eye out for the Boogedy Man.
What Boogedy Man?
Boogedy, Boogedy. Now it's every man, woman, and child for himself.
I saw him! What a weirdo. Dad's gonna negotiate with Mr. Hamburger Face.
It's spirited family fun. Mr. Boogedy.
I'd move. Hey everybody, welcome. It's that time of year again. It is time once again for the TV Guidance Counselor Halloween special. Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. If you heard me on Dana Gould podcast this week with the Halloween episode and you're checking out the show for the first time, welcome. If you are checking out the show for the more than first time, also welcome. This year we have two returning guests. Sam Furst of Monsters Are Good is back, and Rachel Reid of Being My Wife is back. Last year we watched a little special called Crybaby Lane that was infamously banned from Nickelodeon. This year we are switching over to Disney and watching 1985's Mr. Boogedy. So we have the same format as last year. It is the three of us. We'll talk about the show, then we'll watch the show, and then we'll talk about the show again. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this year's Halloween special in which we watch Mr. Boogedy. So here we are. Rachel has a bowl of cereal. Do you need to eat the cereal or you're going to wait?
I think I can probably do both. I can wait and eat it.
Well, if you wait, how are you going to eat it?
That's the mystique of being a woman.
Okay. So last year we watched Crybaby Lane, which was terrible.
Well, I mean, it had a lot of buildup, and you and I were...
Well, because it was a mythological, a legendary urban
infamous.
legend. Infamous is the word I'm looking for.
Amongst who?
Children.
What? Really?
Yeah, well, millennials. Because it had been...
Five people you met in Alston. Okay.
There was a bunch of white belts. But it was supposedly banned by Nickelodeon for being too scary.
Oh. By banned, don't you mean didn't schedule again?
Yeah, they just never aired it again.
Yeah, that's kind of different.
Jim Gaffigan was like, please stop showing this.
Yeah, I forgot that he was in that.
Oh, that's right.
He pops up in that in the Broken Lizard movies all around the same time.
No.
Weirdly.
Don't you remember he's like trying to get free coffee for the funeral?
Yeah, for his funeral. It was his dad's death, and he was like, hey, can I get some free coffee? Because apparently Jim Gaffigan's cheap, and that's a joke. And then we had Becky and Shishi. It was, you can all listen to that next year. Larry is chewing... Okay, yeah.
Hey, here's a quick tip. Don't listen to last year's next year. That's too complicated.
Yeah, anyway. Also, this reminds me last year when we had a film crew here. Larry,
why are you bragging about that?
Because how
people
weird is
don't
that?
care
People
about
care.
that.
They
People
did.
Back when
about
there
that.
was a film crew.
Back when people cared about me. No, they got very angry because Larry was chewing things and it was really screwing up their sound.
Yeah, it was very loud. He'll still do that, and we'll do that all the way through this.
And then the film, I think we talked about it last year, but the film crew accidentally let the dogs out and they were running around in the dark and I thought they were going to hit by a car, and it was a rough night.
It could have been a lot rougher if they had got run into by a car.
It's true.
That's true.
I
was
walked
actually kind of
about
a
a
good
half
night.
mile carrying Teddy
Who's a dog?
because he
Yeah.
was...
Teddy weighs about 4 pounds, so that's easy, even though he's large.
He's large and lanky.
Okay, well, this has nothing to do with anything.
No.
Let's talk about the thing, otherwise everyone's just going to just jump out of the window.
Do you have to go to the bathroom? You're rushing us along.
I could go to the bathroom right here, right now.
That's
it's
true.
my goddamn
That's true.
couch.
No one
I can
knows.
do what I want.
So this year we're watching Mr. Boogedy from 1987. And this was part of Disney's Wonderful World of Disney. And it was an hour-long special, I guess you would say. It's not really a movie. It was just a Disney special on a Sunday night around Halloween.
It was a Disney made-for-TV movie.
But it's only an hour.
it still falls under that.
But doesn't that mean that it would have commercials and therefore it would technically end up being long enough for a movie?
No, it's an hour with commercials.
Oh, so it's not really an hour then?
No, I think it's like 50 minutes.
Is
Yeah.
it actually just a 10-minute sting that you found?
Yeah. Well, there's a sequel called Bride of Boogedy. So I guess if you watched Mr. Boogedy and Bride of Boogedy, you'd get like one movie.
Hey, we're not going to do that, are we?
No, we're not going to do that. We're
Good.
just
I thought
watching
we were.
Good.
Mr.
No,
Boogedy.
let's not
Bride of
do
Boogedy
that.
will be for next year. If God help us, we're still doing this. So Rachel's obviously never seen this.
Is that why I asked you if it's the one with the green
Yeah, you have
footprints?
seen this,
No,
yeah.
I have seen this.
Did I
Why are
show
you
this to you?
lying
Did I show
people?
this to you, or did you seen this before?
It's definitely Ken Reid adjacent.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you had seen this without
Yeah.
me making you
Yeah.
watch this.
Now, the Nickelodeon television wasn't a thing that I even knew about until I was in
Disney.
my 20s.
This is Disney. This is Disney.
Oh,
It was
It
the
sounds
ABC
so Nickelodeon.
Wonderful World of Disney. Mr. Boogedy does sound Disney.
yeah, it does. But you mean Nickelodeon? Yeah, no, Disney was around when I was a kid.
But you didn't have the Wonderful World of Disney.
I'm sure we did, but I didn't watch it because how old was I?
11.
You're not supposed to ask. I'm a lady.
You asked me. You asked me.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I
feel
was
like-
doing something else.
This re-aired on Disney Channel a lot, I feel like. Is that where you saw it, Sam, or did you see it when it first aired?
I definitely probably saw it on the Disney Channel.
Because there was a couple of Halloween things Disney did. One was called DTV, which was Disney's version of MTV.
Seriously? They gave
yeah.
it a name that was so like Deet?
Yeah, and they showed sort of music videos that were of like Disney's Halloween cartoons. So it would be like Night on Bald Mountain, that one Donald Duck cartoon with the jack-o'-lanterns.
Did you say Bald Mountain?
Yeah, isn't that the Fantasia thing?
What?
With the devil? Isn't it Night on Bald Mountain?
Which mountain?
What?
Not Witch Mountain. That's Escape from Witch Mountain.
I've heard of Witch Mountain.
No,
I don't
you
know
from
Bald
Fantasia?
Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Night on Bald Mountain. That's what it's called.
Bald.
Bald, yeah.
Is that right?
Like bald, like no hair, not bald, like
There is only
like
one
screwing.
Kind of, no, there. What?
Well,
Yeah, you never heard that verse?
No.
They bald. They made it.
Oh
They
Lord.
made it with her.
You're talking like BALLED.
Do you
Yeah, like a balla.
Do you mean
Well, Night on Bald Mountain is the name of the song.
Right.
Yeah,
'Cause it's a classical song.
Yeah, it's a
But
classical.
it's like Tchaikovsky.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Sam's showing me a picture of a man.
Of Tchaikovsky. Like you're going to recognize him by face.
I can't see.
I like that you're like Tchaikovsky and you're like, yeah, here's a picture of him. Like that's how you would recognize Tchaikovsky. Oh, it's
not-
Tchaikovsky. I know him anywhere.
Well, I was like, looked
I just
at
heard
it,
the end of it,
and I
Yeah.
said, Tchaikovsky, and everyone said yes. And then I looked at the picture, and I was like, that ain't freaking Tchaikovsky for a monkey's uncle.
Back to DTV.
Yeah.
So they had like a music video selection of their sort of Halloween-y stuff. And it first came out hosted by Jonathan Winters, dressed as a pumpkin. Which is actually kind of terrifying. And then they re-edited it, and it was hosted by the mirror from Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty? Snow White.
Snow White.
Snow White, yeah.
Yes.
Because Sam likes Disney, right? You're a Disney...
It's a kind of a later in life appreciation, but yeah,
That's creepy.
it's not really.
He's not balling it.
Yeah,
You ball into Disney, kid?
You
Yeah, dude.
balling a Disney.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, I can appreciate a lot of the history to it. It ends up tying into a lot of things. Like Night on Bald Mountain, Bela Lugosi shot reference film for the big demon character.
Oh, that's based on Bela Lugosi?
Yeah, they actually, there's like, you can see stills of it. They filmed him doing the motions and stuff, and they animated over it. Because back then, Disney would animate right over film. That's why a
It's
lot
called
of those...
rotoscoping, and it's cheating.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they denied it for a long time, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cheaters. And you know how much heroin they probably got, Bela Lugosi, for having him do that?
Oh, my...
That's probably their fault.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm going to blame Disney for that.
Sure. We can
Yeah.
blame indirectly Disney for Bela Lugosi's death.
That's true. But you also like the Haunted Mansion, not the Eddie Murphy movie, but like the very 60s sort of ghosty Disney stuff.
Well, the Haunted Mansion, a lot of the stuff in the Haunted Mansion was all based off of, which you will appreciate, the EC Comics stuff. It was all knocked off of that. So it has that same kind of vibe, but it's a little bit more...
Kitty.
Well, I don't even want to say kiddie, because I mean, it really isn't. It's
I thought a cat had just walked into the room.
Oh,
You're like, kitty.
But it's not bogged down with like gore and necessarily horror, but more just spooky, creepy, dark rooms and things like that.
But
Ghosts.
it's not as drippy as the EC. Like the
That's
EC
what I mean.
stuff has
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of fluids.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's when I say horror, I mean that.
It's been toweled off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toweled off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toweled off EC. That's how they pitched it.
When they were done bawling.
When they were done balling, they toweled off, and then they opened the haunted mansion. This has gone in a weird direction.
Well, that's because I stopped talking for 2 minutes and let you guys talk.
Yeah.
That's what's
But yeah,
true.
no, I'm currently just dealing with a
Yeah, you're getting...
infatuation with Larry.
Larry's really all up in Sam's business.
Yeah.
But he'll go to sleep soon because Larry's got his pajamas on, everybody, and he's waiting for Halloween claws.
But so I mean, the history with Disneyland as well is very fascinating to me, and those things being like weird time capsules that are.
What'd you do to him?
Yeah. If you push his chest with any amount of pressure, more than a fly, he starts doing that. Like,
Oh my
he's so
god!
sorry for
You
himself.
caved my dog's lungs in.
But that's what that is. He just is like,
Yeah, he's
hey.
fine. Yeah,
he's fine, really.
He has asthma. What were you saying? So Disney, the history of stuff, they have sort of a horror bend.
Well, I mean, theme parks in general, like especially from the '60s, the stuff that's still around is so. It's maintained more than it has been updated. So
Yeah.
it's these really cool time capsules of these things that have just been around for that long.
Like the few amusement parks that are still around, almost all still have like a dark ride, like a haunted mine ride or a haunted house or something like that. Have you ever been in one of those, Rachel?
The very, very low rent ones that you get at sort of gypsy fairs.
I don't know if you can say
Can
that,
you say
but I love
gypsy? Yeah,
it.
that's-
please
Oh,
do.
you can't say that anymore.
Yeah, no, you can't say gypsy fairs. So like Jippo fairs. So like little like carnivals that would pop up for like a weekend or something.
I was born in the 70s. I'm so sorry.
Traveling carnivals is what she's
No, we call
talking
them
about.
Jippo fairs.
I mean, they were very...
Are there people who really like defend gypsies as like a race
I
of
feel like
people?
maybe
because like they can
This
friggin'
isn't relevant
suck it
anymore. No,
gypsies.
Well, yes, they're a little bit scary in themselves sometimes. But there would always be one that would say, oh, I'm in Amelie, that kind of thing.
But would it have like a haunted house thing? Would it just be like gypsies jumping out and being like, "Oh, I'll take your children," or like "Cross my palm with silver, I am a gypsy.
I think you're taking it.
What was that accent?
A little
I
bit
am a
literally.
gypsy." That's how gypsies talk, right? Gypsies are like,
In
"Mamma
England,
mia,
yeah.
that's a spicy meatball. Hey, Luigi, swinging your arms from a side to
Oh,
side."
Lord.
Where are gypsies from?
Romania.
Oh, they're all Romanian?
Well, there is some talk that it's short for Egyptians.
Really?
Yes.
I never heard that. Have you heard
Yeah,
that?
I did.
Yeah.
So they're like,
But no, because there was like a Romany, like a travelling person. Those are the ones that they had a lot of trouble with, like them getting really persecuted in Romania and stuff.
so Egyptians went to Romania.
Okay, now you're going to start trying to work it out, and it's really not. You can't work it out. You're going to have to look at it.
Well, I mean, it could be people in Romania with Egyptian descent.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think there was
Somebody
a lot
will
of
write you, I'm
fleeing.
sure.
Anyway, people hate them.
There was a lot of
that's
fleeing.
that's the bottom line,
They were a
right?
persecuted people.
They cause werewolves.
Yeah.
They steal children.
Yeah.
Well, they do always try to warn you about vampires, but
Do they though?
yeah, and usually, I mean, if the movies have anything to tell you, they usually tell you not to go there.
But are they warning you or just trying to sell you things to protect yourself? Because they're
Good question.
gypsies.
I mean, it could go either way.
yeah, I mean they're gonna gyp you.
Either way, sorry I brought it up.
Don't in the UK you can get in trouble if you call them gypsies. They make you call them
think
travelers, right?
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
ridiculous. Sounds like an insurance
Yeah,
company.
but no one's actually listening to you in England when you talk. Unlike here, where everybody seems to be worried about getting recorded every 2 minutes and like hauled over the coals.
Which we're literally being recorded.
We're literally-
right,
being recorded.
That's
And people listen to
never
this in
really
England.
Was a problem when I was growing up. You could call anybody whatever you wanted. for the
like
most part.
normally I'm if people find a term offensive and they don't like to be called that, I'm like, fine, that's fine, I won't call you that. But like gypsies, like just call them gypsies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I was gonna
Gypsy
say,
carnivals.
So carnivals, traveling people, whatever.
Dark ride.
Yes.
I think you're supposed to
not
call
not a lot of. Not a lot of them. It wasn't as popular in the little ones that we had in our town.
Do you remember anyone specifically?
No,
Okay.
because I was a little girl and not really into that kind of thing.
Did a
Sorry.
gypsy ever ask how much for the little girl?
Not to me, fortunately.
Yeah. And you've been on them at Disneyland.
Yeah, only recently.
But did you go to like Canopy Lake and go to like the Haunted Mine?
Oh yeah, I mean, did you go to a lot of haunted houses when you were a kid?
Yeah, and I hated them. I hate haunted houses.
Yeah, me too.
I hate them.
Why are we even talking about it then?
Well, because it's the time of year.
Well, I hate gypsies, and we just spent 20 minutes talking about them.
I really feel like you should cut all of that out. Start again.
But what was it about haunted houses that you didn't like?
I don't like it. Was
You don't like
like
people jumping out at
I
you.
don't like people jumping out at me, and then it was always like, I didn't think the things in it were real.
Yeah.
Which if I did, I probably would have liked it more. But I knew they were like the kind of dirtbags my uncles would hang around with,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like just crappy teenagers working in there.
Yeah.
And that made me hate them. Which
But-
is why I love Toby Hooper's Funhouse, because those kids get slaughtered.
Yeah, but did you still want to go to them?
No.
Not at all.
No,
See,
'cause-
I had the problem of I was terrible at going through haunted houses. Like, I mean, break down
Panicking
crying.
No, was like your brother okay with it? And your
No.
parents were like, stop being a baby?
No, not at all. We would always want to go to the haunted houses, but we would always like be carried out crying when we were little. And then,
Thank you for adding when we were little.
well, I at least,
Yeah.
keep it together now. But until the one year when we decided that the best option was to go to the haunted house, but we were going to dress in our Ghostbuster outfits.
Oh, because you could fight them.
That didn't go well either. It's exactly the same.
They came at you twice as hard?
Yeah, oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I still always loved going to Spooky World too. But again,
Which was an amusement park here in Massachusetts.
You'd be
yeah.
surprised. Spooky World is more infamous than you can ever imagine.
Nationally?
Yeah. Well, when I was at Monsterpalooza this past September, I walked up and this guy was buying a Spooky World promo tape.
Yeah.
From a vendor.
Yeah. It was the first of its kind.
Yeah.
In America.
It's really the only of its kind. Nothing's ever been the same. It's always just like individual haunts, but this was they had, like 4 or 5.
It was a haunted house. It was a haunted hayride.
But they did like a couple different haunted houses too. But then they also had the museum.
Yeah.
And they
People come to
always
see 'em.
had the free autographs too.
Yeah, they did.
What was it a museum of?
Like
It was
horror-
the American Horror Museum.
Yeah, so they had like props from movies. It was
Oh,
like
so it was about movies, not actual horror.
No,
no, it wasn't like dead bodies or anything.
it's not like the Museum of Death.
Because I'm not sure what year the Chamber of Horrors at Madame Tussauds opened in London.
Was that all just like people
geez.
being tortured?
Yes, mostly. But also famous murderers. I half went down there once, and I was about 9, and I got basically to the bottom of the stairs. And all my parents and people were like, "You're not gonna like it. Don't go down there. You're not gonna like it. You'll cry. Don't go." And I was like, "I'm gonna cry." And then I got to the bottom of the stairs, and there was a big bell at the bottom of the stairs, and it just went clang, like big, I'm a scary bell. And that alone scared the shit out of me.
Is there a thing with scary bells?
In England, are
no,
bells
but
like really
it was-
rampant and
there's
terrifying children?
I guess there's a bit of a backstory with that, because I did have an incident where I saw a movie where somebody was tortured by being put inside a giant bell, and the bell was rung, and they, their ears bled, and they screamed.
Oh, that's how Spider-Man defeated Venom the first time.
Maybe that's what I was watching.
Well, that's how he gets the symbiote off of him.
Yeah, because of the Sonics.
No, but the thing being that I got to see a scary bell, and that was enough.
You didn't make it to Gary Gilmore's waxwork.
I didn't know. I don't know who Gary Gilmore is.
Wasn't he the Yorkshire Ripper?
No.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell.
Bringing up some obscure English murderers.
Yeah.
But to the point of, Spooky World and all that kind of stuff. I always wanted to go. But I
Back
never
to America,
but
where
nev-
things matter.
No, where we got beyond the bell.
We sure did.
We cracked that Liberty Bell. We were like, you gonna ring?
Hey,
You gonna
hey.
ring? You're cracked.
I was saved by the bell.
Rachel and I did go to Saved by the Max in Los Angeles, which is an exact recreation of the Max from Saved by the Bell and includes Belding's office, which now when I watch the show, I will assume is in the Max.
Yep, absolutely.
It's pretty exciting.
But I do tell a lie. I did see a couple of other items while I was hiding myself from the sound of the bell, but too afraid to go back up the stairs and out.
What'd you see?
There was a scene of there's quite a famous murderer in England who disposed of bodies by dissolving the bodies of women in acid in bathtubs. And so there was that. There was like all kinds of crap hanging out of this bathtub.
What is the UK's fascination with acid? There's like acid attacks every year.
That's not true, is it?
Yeah, there's acid attacks in the UK
Maybe
all
we'll
the time.
just have a lot of batteries lying around.
I've never heard of an acid attack in the US. Have you, Sam?
Grow up. Get yourself some acid.
There was that district
Get
attorney.
out there.
Are you talking about Harvey Dent?
Yeah.
No, that's not real. My uncle drank battery acid once by accident.
By
He just
accident,
had a
though.
cup of it laying around.
Yeah, because my grandfather used to own a garage, and my uncle used to run around and he'd drink everybody's coffee. And my grandfather was draining a battery, and then they put it in, so he's put it in a coffee mug. And my uncle was like 7, and he ran up and just downed a coffee mug full of battery acid.
And I think there was also a couple of execution style, hey, we're going to kill you in a minute.
Oh, like guillotines?
I think it might have been a guillotine.
Okay.
But there was like 3 or 4 things on either side of me constantly. And I was like, oh no, I can't look here and I can't look there.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, it was a Chamber of Horrors. And knowing that
They
they were
didn't
based
lie.
on real things.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. It wasn't like, ooh, ghosts. It was real things from real historical things. Can I say things anymore than I just did?
You can. I went to, in Lake George, New York, we went to a wax museum that was just like a really bad wax museum, which I'm sure there's a million Tumblrs now of like bad wax museums because they're amazing.
Yeah.
Especially horror ones.
The Lake George, was that...
Oh, was that...
Frankenstein's Castle?
Oh, I don't know. It was terrible.
Because I think it's still there.
They had a Boston Strangler, and I remember it was just a guy sitting in a cell, and I was like, why is this scary? And my father went, oh, he's a rapist. And then I was like, what? Because I saw the word Boston, and I'm like, he's a rapist in Boston? And then my dad's like, oh, it was only women. I think he's dead.
Did you know that he put a confession out on a 45?
The Boston Strangler?
Yeah.
And it wasn't actually him, you know. It wasn't DeSalvo. The real Boston Strangler is alive and well and living in New Hampshire.
Breaking news.
I recommend you read Casey Sherman's book about it. He,
But didn't they do the DNA?
yes, he
test
is
and all that kind of stuff?
guilty. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. They also had a waxwork in there of the Invisible Man. Yeah, not even with the bandages. It was ridiculous.
Now, can you elaborate on that?
It was just like a hat. Like it was the most lazy waxwork I've ever seen in my life.
By that you mean waxwork with no wax?
Yeah.
It wasn't even work.
No, it was very
It
little
wasn't
work.
wax or work.
It was like, shit, we gotta open. We need another Visible Man. All right.
It was a milliner's shop.
Yeah. Or whatever the Lake George accent is. Someone that sounds like Rachel Ray did it. Who looks like a ghoulie. Who, if you've seen Ghoulies 2, she does look like the toilet ghoulie. And if you've seen Ghoulies 2, that takes place in a haunted house.
Oh.
Which is a cool one.
Bringing it back around.
Yeah.
I did go to one of the most terrifying wax museums in St. Louis with my wife. We went in. I was all excited to go. And the figures were horrendous to begin with. And then there was this entire long hallway that was all religious ones.
Oh.
And the guy kept following us around. The guy was running the wax
Was it
museum.
just a church?
Huh?
Was it just a church?
No, he's like, this
Those
guy
were
had these all in
parishioners.
his barn and he sold them all to me. So this guy somewhere in Missouri had a barn full of these religious figures. But the funniest stuff
I'm sorry,
about
how
it,
big were these figures?
they were life-size figures.
So this guy, so basically,
various dioramas too.
so Mr. Slauson from Tourist Trap sold his collection to this
Basically.
guy in St. Louis. Okay.
So the
Oh,
funniest
I'm sorry,
thing.
I thought he sold them to you.
Oh,
I was
no.
about to ask you where you kept them. Oh my god.
You've bought some weird stuff, but even that
I
would
don't
shock
know.
me.
Yeah.
My stuff is not all that weird.
Yeah, it'd
but
be a real gypsy move to do that.
I thought we were steering clear of that. So that you could cut it out.
the funniest part about the religious hallway, though, was the Last Supper, because they put name.
Yeah, that sounds hilarious.
They put nameplates in front of each of the people at the table, so it looked like a student like a PTO meeting. It was
God.
they were the shitty like.
Mock UN.
They were like the wood paneled,
Oh, yeah.
like principal desk ones,
Right.
But it was like Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was great.
Wow.
But they also had a basement of horrors. Now, this is where it got real weird.
So some guy in St. Louis took you into his basement of horrors. That's where
This was in downtown St. Louis, so it was an actual business.
there's St. Louis has a town.
St. Louis is a city.
Oh, okay.
Why did I just laugh at that? I don't know.
I don't even
I
remember.
apologize.
Yeah. What was St. Louis? Was
Is there a place called St. Louis? And is that different?
no,
That is St.
that's
Louis.
St. Louis. But what was St. Louis? St. Louis, I presume, was a real saint.
Oh, it was probably one that.
It's irrelevant.
No, I want to know like what he was a saint for, and if there's like a reliquary, if like somewhere in St. Louis there's like his finger bones or something.
I don't know.
Those
But
aren't real.
I'll tell you what was in this basement,
Basement
of
of
horrors.
horrors.
You walk around in there. This is the worst wax figures I've ever seen of horror characters from every movie you can imagine. Come around.
That's a pretty tall order. I can imagine.
They're
quite a lot.
real bad.
The Blob?
Oh my god. And then you come around the corner, and there is Anton LaVey.
Actually, him.
It was the only realistic looking thing in this place. The weirdest thing about it, though, was that he was wearing a big long cloak, but at the bottom of the cloak, instead of having regular feet, he had little goat feet, which was kind of awesome.
Which is not life accurate. I don't think he had goat feet.
But next to him is also a very well
Endowed.
a very well
Adjusted.
refined wax figure of Hitler.
Oh.
And next to him was
What were
a-
Hitler's feet like?
They're really bad in the 90s.
Yeah.
well,
So you got Anton LaVey.
like Anton LaVey.
Feet
And then
like-
Hitler, but next to Hitler was also like a really terrible, like weird, like
Michael Jackson.
I bought it at a Halloween store zombie prop that was dressed in striped pajamas. Now,
Oh,
at this
no.
point,
No.
yeah,
No.
and at this point, the owner of the place popped up out of nowhere and started talking to me and Allison about how he really admired Hitler.
Of
And
course.
I'm like,
it's St. Louis.
we're the only fucking people in this place.
And you're Jewish.
I need to get my Jewish ass out of here. But he was also
So
like
wait, you
really.
stepped all over his and his Jewish.
People knew. They've been listening to this for 20
okay.
minutes.
Yeah.
No, but that would have been. Okay. Well, it's like his twist ending that
Yeah.
you just ruined.
But he was like really flamboyant too, which made it even stranger. But we were just like, yeah, we got to get the hell out of here. So that was my experience at that wax museum. That was really fun.
You say that like you have 10 more experiences you're going to relay on wax museums.
Well, I mean, I probably have. I probably got a handful, but
Anton LaVey looks like every dude who would now call themselves poly.
Paulie.
Like polyamorous. Not like a parrot.
Oh, poly.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm Anton. I'm
P-O-L.
poly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gross.
So let's move on to Mr. Boogedy because we're going to watch this.
Jeez.
So this is you've seen this, Sam. This was a
Not
perennial
yet.
favorite.
yeah. I remember watching this a lot, and there's things about it that I remember very, very strongly, but I could not tell you what the entire layout of the movie is at all.
It's an evil ghost who's haunting a family who just moves to town. I think they own a novelties business. John Aston is in it. He may or may not be pretending to be Mr. Boogedy. He's kind of got like an evil air about him. David Faustino, Bud Bundy is the kid in Mr. Boogedy.
And the dad is
It's the dad from License to Drive, whose name Richard Mauser.
who is also in The Thing.
He is, and he's in It. We just said that like it's going to be a Who's on First. He's in the thing, and he's in it. He's in it, in the thing.
No, he's in the thing.
Yeah, but
he's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just said that.
Isn't there a character in something called Mauser? Not Schnauzer.
Yeah. No, Mauser is in Police Academy as well. He's the one before Proctor. Or not Proctor.
What?
Yeah. Mauser's the bad guy in Police Academy before the Switcher! What's his name? Before they go to the Blue Oyster.
But I thought he was in all of them.
No,
Mauser?
Mauser's in 1 and 2, and then he gets dropped.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Mauser's
say,
the one
'cause
whose
he's in
eyebrows
the-
they rip off.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know, yes.
Oh, how
Love
great
him.
would it be? Speaking of Saved by the Max.
Can we watch that instead? Can we
Maybe,
just watch,
yeah.
Can we watch
Yeah.
that?
Speaking of Saved by the Max, what if
Funnier.
they did like a pop-up Blue Oyster as a tribute to Police
I think
Academy?
we went to that, but it was called something pig.
Oh, Bourgeois Pig?
Bourgeois pig.
No, if you're in Los Angeles, go to Bourgeois Pig. It's excellent. It's open till 2 a.m. like a bar, but it's a coffee shop and they have a jungle inside.
They do kind of have a jungle.
It's like the
inside.
movie Troll.
It's a little bit like that. But we went in to have
Wait,
coffee and
Troll
they had
or
a lovely
Troll 2?
time.
Troll, the better one.
But it was very decadent inside.
It was, yeah. I had a wonderful
And we walked
latte.
in and there was like a whole wall of floppy haired young gentlemen and they were just staring at me like, what the? That's that woman. That dude is femme.
Well,
That's
the
how they
weirdest thing
looked
was
at me.
all those dudes had goat feet. Anyway,
You're listening to Hitler's Feet.
this is Hitler's Goat Feed on Radio St. Louis.
No, you're Vanilla Fruit Loop, I thought.
Vanilla Fruit Loop, that's a whole other conversation. So anyway, we're going to watch Mr. Boogedy. And
People are
then
going to have to be deaf to listen to this.
they will have to be deaf to listen to this. And then we'll... So Mr. Boogedy I have a weird relationship with. I'm Polly. No, there was a kid named Mark who I grew up with who was a huge liar, and he was always trying to get people to come over his house and watch Mr. Boogedy. And he
Always. Though.
yeah. Like he told everyone he had a
Even
gremlin
during the holidays.
Yeah, he told everyone he had a gremlin. He told everyone he had a giant train set with real little people. And then you'd go over his house and you'd ask where
Everybody
it was.
knew a kid like this.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, it's in the shop." He told everyone that he went to the next town over and painted all their fire hydrants yellow.
Right,
Yeah,
It's got a lot.
And then
a weird lie.
It is a weird lie. And he always wore Cavaricis. And then when you'd go over his house, he'd ask if he wanted something to drink, and you'd go to the fridge, and he'd have like all kinds of stuff in the fridge, and he'd be like, "Oh, all we have is milk," but there'd be other things in there.
The other things were for the other people in the house.
They were for the little
Adults.
people on the train.
Speaking of haunted houses, and I'll share this, and then we'll watch Mr. Boogedy. He would always want to make a haunted house in the basement to scare his sister, and no one would ever do it. Or we'd spend all day making this haunted house, and she'd come down and be like, "Mark, this is stupid," and wouldn't get scared. So one time I was like, "No, Mark, it's a waste of time. She never gets scared." And he took real umbrage to that. So we made this haunted house. We spent hours. She came downstairs. He hid behind the door with a hockey stick and hit her in the face with it. It broke her nose. And then he told his parents it was my idea.
Yeah, it's always your friend's idea to hit your sister in the face with a hockey stick.
That was like, he was like, "Oh yeah, she's not going to be scared." Boom, hockey stick in the face.
Yeah, but the thing is, he totally didn't do the Hitchcock rule of seeing the hockey stick and knowing that someone's going to get hit in the face.
Yeah, no,
with it.
I was shocked. I
See
didn't
the
know that.
scaredness
Yeah.
versus throwing a cat at someone's hockey stick and
Yeah.
then they see the bomb under the table.
You know what's funny? He didn't even put a Jason mask on. He just
Just a
came
hockey
out
stick.
dressed as him with a hockey stick, and he didn't play. I don't even know why he had a hockey stick.
Maybe that was the irony. Maybe it was his sister's hockey stick and she can shut
It
the
might have
F
been a
up
field
with the
hockey stick. No, this is a full-on hockey stick because it left.
Are you telling me that field hockey sticks aren't full-on hockey
No,
sticks?
they look like knitting
Write
needles.
in to Ken Reid
Yeah.
at... Tell him your field hockey
Well,
stick
in England,
is a full-on hockey stick.
In England, isn't lacrosse for girls?
Oh, God, yeah. And
Yeah.
posh girls.
Yeah, and basketball is for girls too. It's netball, right?
Yeah, it's a different game, and it's called netball, and it's just for girls.
Yeah, Rachel's weirdly sexist about sports, American sports versus English sports. Like
I'm
you
sorry,
talk-
if your sports are going to have rules, the rest of us are going to have rules about your sport.
Yeah, like American football is for wusses, and it's not like rugby.
I wouldn't say it's for wusses. I would say it's for very large men that should be put down a mine and working for their community instead of just throwing each other around until they...
Whoa.
What?
Rachel's gonna go on a Trump creed right now about taking a knee.
Oh. Why? Is it because I said community?
It's not because you said community now. Well,
I don't understand. If you're a large person with loads of muscle, you should be doing good for the community working by doing hard work.
Rachel wants underground fat camps,
understand.
apparently.
Are they fat? I thought they were muscly.
Yeah, muscly, but the way you said it, you were like, large gentlemen need to be thrown down in a mine.
I'm not suggesting you put them in an extermination situation.
No, you're making it worse now.
I think you're making it worse by laughing.
Oh, remember when we were just offending gypsies?
Again, stop mentioning it so you can cut it out.
All right, so Sam's being mauled by the dogs. I think he might be
Can
choking.
we just watch that?
Yeah, that might be a Disney movie.
It might be horrifying.
Yeah, I think that's what Dog with a Blog is like.
That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's a Disney Channel show,
It's
Dog
still
with a
on?
Blog. I don't know if it's still on.
Can't be.
Larry watches
That was
it.
from like 2001, right?
It's 2002, right?
That's right.
What year is it?
No. Larry, stop.
Oh, Larry's getting frisky. Larry's treating this like if we're at the drive-in, and Sam's his date. Okay, so we're gonna watch Mr. Boogedy, and then we'll come back and we'll react to Mr. Boogedy. So I'm
To
watching.
be fair, though, to them, we're not even going to go away, so why even say that?
Well, because then they can pause it now, and
He
they
needs to put the special effect, the special sound effect.
yeah, the sound effect will
Oh,
come
that's
in,
right.
and they can pause it, and they can watch Mr. Boogedy, which I think is on YouTube. We're going to be watching it via Vudu.
Hey, you know they're not going to do that, right?
No one ever does that.
one's gonna
No one's even listening to this
Also,
still.
if they are, they're probably all looking for a lawyer right now. They're just like, whatever it is, we're offended by it right now.
Right.
Apparently.
Yeah. Okay. Anything to add, Sam, before we go?
No, I don't think I can add anything.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Sam will still be here when we get back. And before we get back, I'll show him my basement where I have an Anton LaVey with rabbit feet, weirdly. It's Anton LaVey with big rabbit feet.
Because he needs more luck.
That's right. And we'll be back with our reaction to Mr. Boogedy.
Tonight. You want to see something really scary?
I think I said all my comments already. I don't think I want to speak.
All right, we're back. Rachel has said she said all her comments and doesn't want to speak anymore.
You're really good at this.
Aren't I? I'm a professional broadcaster.
I guess.
So we've watched Mr. Boogedy, which Sam is disappointed to realize is not Bride of Boogedy.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is, Bride of Boogedy is sort of the Godfather, too, of 45-minute long, made for Disney television horror films.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. So if people didn't watch it, if you didn't spare the 45 minutes, a family led by Richard Mauser, who owns a gag company called Gag City, which sounds like a Valley Girl, like, oh, Gag City, but is like a joke company.
Could be a weird club, too.
It could be a weird club. He also has a van that had like a theme van.
I would say that City is wildly overestimating their actual reach.
Yeah, it's more like a gag
Truck.
township.
It's
Commonwealth.
Yeah. It's like a food truck for jokes.
for rubber eggs.
For rubber eggs that shoot water.
Oh, I thought that was his watch that shot water.
I am a big fan of the vacuum cleaner that doesn't vacuum anything, but in fact shoots ping pong balls for no particular reason.
And is a Jack in the Box.
And it is a Jack in the Box.
Yes,
as
it's
well.
like a Taiwanese strip show.
Does have vacuum powers.
But it's a useful vacuum.
When enchanted.
So this
Cursed,
family
really.
this family moves to New England, which, as we
From-
all know, is, this never hit me when I started as a kid, but apparently New England is like a very scary place for the rest of the entire country.
It's spooky.
Like, that's what they think of us here. A place called Lucifer Falls, which
I get it.
is that's too
I
much.
get it.
Like, nothing's to be called that.
Well, I will say that
I thought it should be called Lucifer Fells.
Yeah.
It's grammatically very incorrect.
Which is a pun on Lucifer falling from heaven.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
People that don't know.
People that don't know. Okay.
It's in the Bible.
How would you know?
I've heard.
You wouldn't know.
And then isn't the real estate companies called like something the devil? It's called like
Was it Devil May Care?
Devil May Care Real Estate. Yeah.
Yes.
Realty?
Yeah.
Itself probably a pun on the fact that the town is called Lucifer something.
That's true.
Yeah.
But the tone of this movie, for the most part, is very light and jokey. Like it feels like a Saturday the 14th movie, like almost like a Naked Gun type movie.
It's like how I went real deep dive in why that company called itself what it did.
Gag City.
No, why that real estate. I was like, oh, he probably called it that because of them. That's why that company called themselves.
That's an interesting fan theory, Rachel.
Isn't it? Why am I trying to think of why they'd have chosen that name anyway?
So they move into this house, which would not be a house you would be allowed to move into. Like it looks like a condemned house. It looks like the house from Night of the Demons.
So an abandoned house.
It's an abandoned.
I mean,
house.
it's an old Victorian.
But it's abandoned.
It's not in good repair. No.
The mother mistakes.
It looks just like the house from Elvira.
That's true. The mother mistakes a skull for a lamp. That's what kind of condition the house is in.
But to be fair, it does end up becoming the control for all the lights in the house for some reason.
That's true. Which I can't believe nobody's made like a skull control for all their automated homes.
I have a skull. I probably actually have that same exact skull in the back of my car right now.
What?
It's a 1980s like skull model.
Why do you keep that in your car?
Because I found it at a yard sale for $1
in your trunk. So
I did forget. I did go out to pick Rachel up from the train today, forgetting that I had a switchblade in my jacket.
So there's that. But we did spend, I don't know, about 6 months driving around with a full size but plastic skeleton in the car.
Oh, that's right. He was in the seat back there.
Yeah.
And then for a while we drove around with a giant stuffed 1960s Carnival prize St. Bernard.
Yeah.
I had a full-size Frankenstein in my backseat for a while.
Well, you could like justify that as it being for work.
Well, it was.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Good job.
I'm just living my life like a 1950s hood, and you're a bit like the dad from Mr. Boogedy.
You're like someone that works for Gag City.
Gag City.
Gag City.
So Kirsty Swanson is the oldest
Kirsty?
daughter. Kirsty.
Is it Christy?
I think it's Kirsty Swanson.
It's
Kirsty Swinson?
the original Buffy.
Christy
the unwanted
Swinson?
Buffy.
The unwanted Buffy, the incestuous daughter in Flowers in the Attic.
Ooh, no.
Yes, the deadly friend. So this must be about
How
80.
else am I supposed to respond to that, Samuel?
Just kidding.
This must be about 85. This must be the same year as Deadly Friend, I think, which is a terrible movie, in which she plays a corpse who receives a robot brain chip and crushes Mama Fratelli's head with a basketball.
Poor Mama Fratelli.
Oh, Wes Craven.
Wait, a basketball?
Yeah, she
What movie
throws a
was that?
basketball. Have you ever seen Deadly Friend?
No.
Oh, it's terrible.
Sounds it.
Mama Fratelli
Yeah, I know.
why can't I remember that actress's name? I forget her name at the moment. But she is like an evil, yelly woman next door, and Kirsty Swanson, who's now like possessed by a robot corpse, throws a basketball so hard at her head that it explodes.
Oh, so is it a comedic adventure?
No, it's not inherently comedic, that
Okay.
movie. Yeah. So she's sort of fresh off that in this movie.
So they scooped her up while she was hot, is
That's
what you're
right.
saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then David Faustino, Bud Bundy, and then I forgot there were 3 kids. The third and youngest is Benji, last name I can't remember, from Alf.
Benji Bungie?
Benji Bungie is his name. He's a conjugated person. And they move into the house, and the house is weirdly haunted. But the first person they encounter is John Astin, who's clearly the best character in the movie.
Absolutely. And
Best
again,
character in
this
any
is where I
movie.
felt very disappointed that we weren't watching the second one, because he plays a bigger role in the second one.
Or just anything with him in, ever.
He's like he can make anything watchable and funny.
Yep.
because he has a very
sad.
or sad. He has a very funny line.
What is he in that's sad?
Oh, everything.
I don't know, home movies of his own devising.
No, but he's very empathetic because he can play. Yeah, Night Court. He's sad. There's two people from Night Court in this. Larry.
No, there's no Night Court references. Out of bounds.
There's two lines in this that are genuinely funny. One of them John Astin has, and it's when he says, "I have a son about your age. He's unusual," and then never mentions it again.
And we don't meet the son either.
No, we don't.
You'd think that would be like a setup for some
payoff.
sort of like, yeah.
This movie does seem like there's a lot missing. Like, it seems like a feature-length movie that a lot was cut out from.
Like, you're telling me that there may be a director's cut of Mr. Boogedy out
Might
there?
be a Mr. Boogedy uncut. Have you heard the word boogedy before
Also,
this?
Mr. something and then uncut.
Sounds like a penis.
I mean,
Gag City.
Gag City. Oh, God. Let's move on. That's unusual. We should give us...
that's new.
Yeah, that's new. We should give a special award to John Astin's eyebrows.
Oh,
Or eyebrow.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Which is
it
essentially...
was a full head eyebrow.
I think he just got two mustaches and put one as a mustache and one as an eyebrow.
It was like a full headband.
Yeah.
Sort of getting shape.
It was pretty
girl.
wonderful.
So he plays the you're all gonna die old man, basically.
Well, so he was running the Historical Society?
But he's also a real estate agent. I think he sold them the house.
Yes.
Did that come up?
Well, there's
because
no-
why would... Well, no,
Because they were like, "Why are you here?" And he said, "Why are you here?"
He also appears to be the only other person who lives in their town.
But so I mean that would make sense if he was the real estate agent. But if he sold them the house, why would he then be telling them to get out?
See, that when I first saw this, and I thought it again this time, I thought this would be some kind of weird Scooby-Doo type plot where John Astin is trying to get them to leave, and he's pretending to be a ghost.
I mean, the father barely mentions him again. He says, "Oh, it's Witherspoon." Just this
Playing
is
a
a great
joke.
gag.
Also, they don't really establish.
Can I put forward a theory?
Yes, please do.
John Astin knew John Astin's character of whichever role he was
Witherspoon.
playing, knew the story of the wee ghosties and wanted them to be freed, and so he wanted them to know about Mr. Boogedy and be intrigued about him so that they would do the thing.
Why didn't he do it?
His eyebrows were too large.
So, just backing up to the very beginning here, they never really established why they move in the first place.
He was gonna open a new shop. That was like what he was talking about. He's like moving to a place that they could like.
Oh, they were gonna
expand and stuff.
have bigger bathrooms.
Oh, yes, because as Rachel pointed out, you definitely moved to New England to have your own big bathroom.
We're gonna have a bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, they were moving from New York, though, right?
Were they?
Is that what?
They were moving
Yeah.
from somewhere else on the East Coast, I think.
Everyone seems very East Coasty. I do find Richard Mauser always likable.
Oh yeah,
He seems like a bad father in this, but he always seems likable.
terrible father.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a sane person.
No one seems sane in this. So they start seeing weird things around the house, over and above their father's Gag City gags.
Oh my god!
I will tell you, if you used to watch this movie when you were a kid,
And why
watch
would you?
it again. You will be amazed at how fast all of it comes back to you.
Yeah, it's like a repressed memory.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Or
real
a bad
weird.
lunch.
Yeah, bad lunch. But it's not traumatic like the peanut butter solution.
No, which
I beg to differ with the all scariness. There is scariness.
Yeah, when we finally see Boogedy, he's legitimately horrific looking.
I would say scared before then.
it's actually an awesome character design. I actually really like it.
So we'll tell people what Boogedy is. They start seeing weird things. They go to Mr. Witherspoon, played by John Astin, at the Historical Society. He has a large pop-up book that has a combination lock on it, which I don't think got enough screen time, which tells them the
They
story.
only had one page.
That's true. No, there were 2 pages.
All right, yeah.
Which tells
That's
us
all the more reason to keep a lock on the front of
Hey,
it.
how old was that pop-up book? It was, maybe the other pages were destroyed.
It
That's
was
true.
kept in good condition.
It was
so-
very good
Right.
condition.
in Pilgrim times, everyone has fun all the,
The
time.
70s.
And Mr. whatever his real name is, everyone calls Mr. Boogedy because he hates kids and comes out and yells boogedy boogedy at them,
That was a very popular saying.
Have you ever heard the term boogedy before this movie?
Well, no, but this movie's always been around, so it's kind of synonymous.
Why do they say boogedy and not boogie?
Well,
Because it's boogeyman.
Well, because
that was probably already copyrighted.
I doubt it's
That's
copyrighted.
already a name, though, right?
Yeah, that's already a thing.
So they were like, we'll put an itty, and it's new.
Yeah, because it's Disney and it's more for kids.
I don't know. Isn't it Canadian?
No. This
one's
was
US?
shot in the Disney lot. This is
Yeah.
Burbank shot. So everyone hated him, and he had the hots for this widow. So he devises a plan.
Kidnaps her child.
Yeah, but this is weird. But
Don't give it away, Sam.
Before he kidnaps her child, he sells his soul to the devil for a magic cloak that makes him invisible.
First step.
Which he apparently needs to kidnap a child because you have to be invisible to do that. And then tells the woman she can't have her kid back unless she marries him. And then tries to cast a spell with his cloak and blows up his house and kills everybody.
You can see how men aren't very good at stuff.
Yeah, there are so many things wrong with this plan.
It's not a good plan.
But that's an old white guy plan.
Well, first of all, if you're going to kidnap a woman and blackmail her into marrying you...
I'm going to say it again. This is... Come on.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil to do that.
To
Well,
kidnap someone.
that could have been like, just a metaphor.
What?
Are you telling me that the pop-up book was not?
You don't think it was a literal story of him selling his soul to the devil for a magic cloak?
What? Why question at this point?
Hey, wouldn't you just be like, "Hey, baby, check out my magic cloak. Don't you want to marry me?"
Also,
Like, wouldn't you try that first?
Yeah, wouldn't you put on the cloak and say, "Oh, hey, I'm invisible now. I don't really need to marry.
I'm going to watch
anybody."
you shower.
Yeah.
But that implies that he knew how to use the fucking cloak, but he didn't. He blew up his house the first time he tried to use
Well,
it.
if you're going to sell your soul, wouldn't you try to get like some sort of
Good
like
thing.
a quick start guide to the magic cloak?
Hey,
Yeah,
you
he
know
didn't
what?
think this through.
Don't ask for a magic cloak.
That is a lame thing to ask
Right?
for.
Why didn't you ask for?
Wouldn't you just ask,
like,
I
just
want
wanna
this
marry that
woman to marry me? Like,
Yeah.
why does the cloak even come up?
Well, did you see that devil?
Yeah,
Oh, he looked shady, didn't he?
Yeah, he was like a Hell's a Poppin' Santa Claus the movie devil.
Yeah. Not Santa Claus the movie. That's
No,
different.
Santa Claus, the Mexican movie.
Yeah.
It's like a
That's
Mexican
good
Santa
one.
Claus. It's got a little cinnamon
Ooh,
in
can
it.
we do a Christmas one about that movie?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should.
Jeez, best movie.
So, like, I just feel like Disney was like, yeah, we would try to make a movie called Disney's Magic Cloak, and it didn't work. And I don't know, throw
We
it in
got
this
all these
thing.
cloaks.
Yeah, like the cloak. The only reason the cloak exists is so they have a way to defeat him in the end.
Yeah, which
It
is
serves no other
I will
purpose.
say that the defeat is very anticlimactic.
Yeah, they're not even goat defeat.
Call back to feet reference.
Anton
earlier.
LaVey.
Anton.
Yeah, I mean the whole movie's kind of anticlimactic.
Well, I feel like there's like a good build, but then it just kind of doesn't go anywhere. You get
That's what anticlimactic means.
Yeah, you've defined anticlimactic. Good build doesn't go anywhere.
Oh dear.
I hate the two of you.
Yeah. That's why we're married.
Yeah,
They rounded up everyone that
You deserve
hate,
each other.
and they made
that's
us-
why.
made them all get
That's why
married.
Rich only guests once a year because we wouldn't have a show. We'd just be us being mean to people.
That's a different show.
Yeah. So he tells them this story, and they decide essentially that they need to defeat Mr. Boogedy to free the widow and the child, who are now ghosts.
The snotty speech impediment child who steals things.
Who steals Benji's teddy bear and looks like the little girl from the Ewoks movie.
I think it was a man. I think it was a boy, right?
It is a boy.
No, in the Ewoks movie.
No.
Is that no, it's a little girl.
It's a boy.
Nope, it's a girl.
It's a girl.
Was it playing a boy?
No.
Was it gender fluid?
I think so. Yeah.
No, well, there's
I think it was
actually
a
so
boy.
the first Ewok movie, there's the little girl and her older brother. The older brother looks a lot like Jason Lively, but it's not Jason Lively. But the little girl in the second movie is the only one to survive. The second movie starts off with her whole family being murdered.
Oh,
By Mr.
Star
Boogedy?
Wars.
No, and then she ends up living with Wilford Brimley. That's how that second movie goes. It is awful.
Did Wilford Brimley kill her family so he could have this child and then
Invisible
try to
cloaker.
get an invisible
No,
cloak?
because he spends most of the movie being horrible to her, and then at the end they like,
Kiss?
No, they
What?
he
I don't know.
cares about her.
So if Wilford Brimley had just got a magic cloak, it would have been a lot easier. So anyway,
That's what I heard.
yeah. So then the second genuinely funny line in this movie to me is when the mom finds the widow ghost outside and says, "Would you like to come in for coffee?" And the ghost starts crying and she goes, "What's the matter? Is it coffee?" Which is funny. And then she goes, "Is it something about ghosts and coffee?"
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
I also enjoyed the second line by Mr. Aston where he goes, "What are you doing here?" And they go, "What are you doing here?" And he goes, "What am I doing here?" And then he goes, "I work here."
Yes.
And he seems genuinely surprised.
It's a very John Aston
Oh,
line.
everything he says, it seems like it springs to his mind
Yeah.
from nowhere. It's wonderful.
He's good in everything, even
Good job, that
Return to
man.
the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, I
As
love
Dr.
him in The
Gangrene.
Frighteners.
Frighteners, he's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's good in The Frighteners. Jim
Yeah,
Fife.
that movie's so good.
So, what we're saying is watch The Frighteners.
Yeah.
I mean, this is only 45 minutes. It doesn't have a real Halloween atmosphere.
Look, it's about a ghost in a haunted house.
It's essentially a bottle episode. It's in two sets.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think it has a good vibe though. It's got they do a really good job with the setting and like doing. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Still, I mean, I know it's anticlimactic, but at the same time, it's like I
I
guess
would say it's not that anticlimactic. It goes exactly where you want it to. It
Away.
It goes exactly to. I mean,
An ending.
ruining it for everyone that hasn't watched it in the interim, but you start off with all family haunted house, and then you're like, sad for ghosts, then bad ghost defeated, good ghosts are happy, everyone's happy,
Yeah.
and then they do like a bit of a winky face at the end. So
here's
I would
the
say
thing
it
I'm
does
hung up
everything it's
on.
supposed to.
Kirsty Swanson, her entire
Right, is that the little girl or the woman?
that's the older sister.
the older sister, her entire worldly possessions appear to be a suitcase and a sleeping bag.
She has a pink romper suit.
That's true. She has an amazing jumpsuit that I think she sleeps in.
She woke up.
I saw a woman wearing that same exact outfit with bedazzled Crocs.
Oh God, I thought you were going to say crotch.
With a bedazzled crotch.
Yeah.
All crotches should be bedazzled.
That's called
on
vajazzling.
a ghost tour. So I mean,
A
it's
ghost
also,
tour.
You were on a ghost tour?
I've gone on a couple.
You've
believe
gone
in-
on a couple?
Do you believe in ghosts?
No,
Do you want to? This house is quite old.
This is an old house.
my house is older.
Oh, okay, Mr. One Up.
Oh my God.
Do you have ghosts in your house?
Do you want to? We can send some over.
Yes. Do you have a magic cloak?
I do.
Anyway,
yeah.
I was going to say about the Disney aspect of this. What I enjoyed was that most of it, not in the least bit Disney-ish. But towards the end, if you are a fan of Bedknobs and Broomsticks, you will notice a lot of similarity. Am I speaking correctly?
Yeah.
Similarity.
You're speaking.
Why can't I say that word?
I don't know.
A lot of things that are similar between Bedknobs and Broomsticks magical happenings and the effects they use for the ghosts.
Yeah, the rotoscoping they use for the ghosts, which is like an glowing outline of green for Boogedy and like an electric blue for the other two.
But more specifically, when Mr. Boogedy appears, they have this circles and sparkles.
Yeah, it sort of fades in like a weird...
Yeah, it's like a circles and sparkles, and in Bedknobs and Broomsticks, when they have magical stuff, it's a very similar in and out of the magical realms stuff. So if you know those scenes, then you'll recognize that.
It might even be the same animation, to be honest with you.
I
they
figured
could just
it
pull
might-
that
it might
from
be.
their archives and reuse it.
Well, I mean, it's around different shapes and stuff, but I'm sure they're using old, easy, cheap stuff that you know how to do.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't have to do
hand-drawn
anything-
stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything magical with it.
So Boogedy arrives. They rip his cloak off with a vacuum cleaner.
Whoa. No. Boogedy curses the vacuum, starts chasing the kid who's protecting himself with various fabric
Soft furnishings.
pieces of cloth that keep getting sucked into the vacuum, and then he hides behind Boogedy, at which point Boogedy's cloak, gets caught in the
Right.
cursed vacuum.
He hides behind Boogedy from Boogedy.
Yeah.
Which is...
Childhood is very difficult.
That's true.
Hey, man, he saved the day, though.
Also, and I don't know if they did this on purpose because Boogedy, like we said before, the appearance of Boogedy is incredibly scary. Like he's
so
like
scary.
Freddy Krueger messed up
Yeah,
face.
he's gruesome.
He looks like that witch mask from the comic covers. What is that? The creepy comics? No.
Oh, Creepy and Eerie, or the old witch from EC Comics?
EC Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got that kind of vibe. He looks like a bad mask out of the back of a magazine in
It's like a
the
prune
1960s.
face.
But he's described as having a face that's drippy. And I thought when I first started watching this that
Like
was...
grilled cheese.
Yes.
Yep.
And I thought that was a reference to the sneezing. And I thought they were being, like he's the one that's sneezing and his face is dripping with snot.
Boogies.
Hence, Boogedies.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. But then when you see him later, it's the little boy ghost that has a sneeze, nothing to do with Boogedy, and he doesn't even look in the slightest bit Boogedy.
Which I think is because Disney seems to think sneezing is cute. Like there's a lot of Disney things like sneezing is cute. They do that with like cute thing. Go
Maybe.
pew.
But also, you don't see his face until a lot later
You got a
on.
couple examples of that, Ken?
Sneezy.
Okay.
Thumper.
Thump.
Yeah, he sneezes when he first and then in Bambi when he discovers flour, doesn't he smell the skunk and sneeze? Doesn't Bambi go pew? Well, I feel like there's a lot of sneezing in Disney animation for things they're trying to think are cute.
Probably.
Someone can tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Disney film. Yeah, so Boogedy looks terrifying, but I think
He looks like a plague victim or something.
he does look like a plague. Like there's parts of his face coming, like he's like a real leper kind
He
of.
looks leathery, yeah.
But
Leprous.
every time he shoots green lightning out of his fingers, he goes boogedy, 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 which just is never going to be scary.
I don't know.
Boogedy, boogedy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
If you give a terrifying thing a ridiculous enough word to repeat, it is not scary.
Well, maybe they had to do that because of the terrifying face.
That's what I'm
Or,
thinking.
My thought is it's the other way around, though, that they thought he wasn't scary enough and they changed the design of his face from being this thing that caught a cold off the baby ghost.
I will say
snotty.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little... all the shots of his face were very close. There was no, like, wide shots.
Like a cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah, up the scare factor later.
Maybe.
It's possible.
Well, yeah. So I thought that they'd kind of redesigned him later on or something.
So they defeat Boogedy. That's the end. We get a little...
But there's a haunting scene that I thought was quite scary.
when
toaster?
stuff's floating around.
No,
the
no.
mummy. The
There's,
dancing mummy.
there's-
Oh, yeah.
They seem to have procured a corpse wrapped in cloth. No, it was like some.
Known as a mummy.
It was no,
a scarecrow.
It was
It's like a scarecrow
It was
mummy.
a pretend Halloween figure, and then it gets. What is it in Bed Elves and Broomsticks?
Reanimated.
It gets animated. There's a specific spell that they have.
Do you think
Yes.
this Mr. Boogedy takes place in the same universe as
it
Bed
has
Knobs
a
and
lot-
Boomsticks?
I think the person that was in charge of directing this was a big fan, and that makes sense because it's Disney.
Do you think it's a shared universe? That's what I'm saying.
Maybe.
My question is it
Could
a
be.
shared
That
universe
was,
with
I
the
think
thing?
That was in actual
With the
England.
thing?
Yeah,
So you think Richard Mauser's the same person?
maybe.
Oh,
And that brings us back to Brimley. But has Wilford Brimley ever been in a Disney thing? He seems like he should have been, but I
probably
don't think he
played
has.
the voice of a car or something.
Maybe. So anyway,
Traguna Macoides, Tragorum Satis D. That's the magic word.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're getting real specific.
Yeah, hopefully
I
that
watched it a
didn't
lot.
cause any magic happenings in your home when you were listening to this.
No, it only works if you say it with meaning and like feeling.
And then you got to go
And then you
boogity
have to-
boogity boo.
Yeah, then you have to like chant it round your house with a bunch of Second World War evacuees.
Okay. So here's the weird thing to me. Disney does actually have a lot of horrific, cool horror design, horror things in their catalog that, given the fact that in the last 10 years, sort of gothy kids have sort of embraced Disney for some strange reason, like with Nightmare Before Christmas and some of
That's
the...
about it.
No, but they do like the witches and the.
Well, I mean, Hocus Pocus is Disney.
But who's also the woman with the big horn head? Maleficent. And there's definitely like a
Disney
gothy
villains.
Disney villains more than ever. They could do stuff with Boogedy. They could do stuff with gargoyles. They own, Something Wicked This Way Comes or the Black
Boogedy,
Cauldron.
though?
Yeah, but like the Boogedy character, you would think there would be like something they would do with it.
I think if it was a actual like
movie,
they probably would, because how many years? But also at the same time, how many years has it taken for them to even think about using Hocus Pocus for anything?
20.
It's 25 years. Yeah. And
and you know what as well? Girls aren't probably even going to care about this Boogedy movie, so it's not going to come back.
Yeah, there's not like a sexy
There's
Boogedy you can dress
no
up
girls
with.
are going to be all like,
there's no-
I'm the cool one.
there's no romantic aspect to it either.
Yeah.
I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas, Disney, when that came out, they put it out under a different production company. They didn't even put the Disney name on it because they didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because they didn't know what it was going to do.
Yeah, the same with Something Wicked This Way Comes, and the Black Cauldron almost completely bankrupt the studio.
Yeah.
And closed their animation thing down. But
Well, Nightmare Before Christmas came out and it wasn't well received.
no, I
And-
saw it and enjoyed it.
I did too.
People treated it like people treat Monkey Bone now.
What?
Do you know
What?
Monkey Bone?
Yeah, I'm well aware of Monkey Bone,
Doesn't mean we can't disagree with you.
but is there a lot of people who are like
Wait.
nostalgic for
What
that
did
movie?
people think about Monkey Bone that at the time they thought
They
it
were
was
like,
okay?
Chris Kattan is great.
They were like, this movie's bizarre and I hate it, but I kind of want to watch it. I kind of loved Monkey Bone.
I think a lot of furries were into that movie.
Oh, because of Cat Rose McGowan?
Yeah.
Maybe. There's some cool stuff in Monkey Bone.
My point being that Nightmare Before Christmas has like one good song in it and the rest of it can F off.
This
'cause
is
it's
Halloween?
Terrible.
No, there's actually...
It's a terrible thing.
Oh, come on. It's all Danny Elfman.
I know, but Danny
I'd rather
Elfman-
listen to Oingo Boingo.
Danny Elfman can write a
And he can
tune.
sing really nicely.
Yeah.
He can. He's good, but you use all the good stuff on Oingo Boingo or whatever, and then no. It's
I actually
terrible.
think the story points in between the songs in Nightmare Before Christmas are the weaker part of the movie. But that movie, again, it's been popular for a little bit now, but yeah, for years, that was on the back burner.
That long after it came out like that, you started getting sort of
Not like not
like
this.
now, like Walgreens and CVS has Nightmare
Yeah.
Before Christmas stuff now. But yeah, it's point being, Disney has more than Nightmare Before Christmas that they could exploit the
Yes.
Halloween season that they
Hold
did.
on. I'm gonna vote that Disney's already exploited enough things.
I want Disney to exploit more things.
Jesus Christ. There's going to be like, Disney. I'm trying to think of a thing that it hasn't exploited.
Like Sam and I we go to a lot of conventions, and I've never seen anyone like dressed as Mr. Boogedy, which I would think we would have.
You might have done.
At some point, I would really hope that does happen, though.
We've seen people that look like that,
That's
but I
what
don't
I
think
mean.
that
Like,
they've
you
been
probably have
purposely
seen
dressed
that.
that way.
Well, there,
wouldn't know.
we've had some great spots of people like Tom Fatkins.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What?
He looked like Fat Tom Atkins.
Oh.
And we dubbed him Tom Fatkins, and then he would answer the phone and go, "Fill me."
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, we were real bored that weekend.
yeah, that was a slow show, but that was
Yeah.
Creativity at
Yeah,
work.
that's true.
it made up for it.
He looked exactly like Tom Atkins,
exactly
but just
like
real fat. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I would recommend it if you have a nostalgia for it. Sam seemed to enjoy rewatching it.
I really enjoyed rewatching it. I did.
Yeah, it was definitely fun.
Midnight Hour was better. This is probably better than Crybaby Lane.
Yeah,
This is
at
definitely
least-
better than
This
Crybaby
made
Lane.
sense
That's true.
if you take it into account that any of it made any sense.
It's very linear.
What I said to you was that I felt like it was actually a pretty well constructed storyline. It wasn't the best executed, like as far as like
It's very low budget.
yeah, but I liked
Low budge.
I liked the look of it.
Yeah.
I thought the house was really cool. I thought John Aston's character was fun.
Yeah.
And obviously Mr. Boogedy was kind of cool.
It's clear. So it's shot on film, edited on video, and has that look, that very
Yeah.
mid '80s
It
Friday
seems
the
very
13th the
chopped
series
up,
look.
though.
Yeah,
You're right.
it does. It seems like it's missing chunks of scenes.
Yeah. I think they had some sort of thing where it was longer than that, and they were like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, so maybe watch Bride of Boogedy. You probably don't need to watch
Well,
this.
just sit down and watch an actual, hour and a half worth of movie.
Well, if you're going to do that...
If you like a person dressed up as a mummy doing a scary dance, and then imagining seeing that happening in your house and not shitting yourself.
You're afraid of mummies.
Dude, if you had...
Rachel hates burlap sacks and bandages.
Had a, sack man sitting in your living room and suddenly it starts doing the
You got
hokey
Ken
pokey.
Reid.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Right?
Like things with bags over their
Yes.
heads. Yeah, Rachel doesn't like that.
Look, we haven't got time to go into my origin story. But if, inanimate doll sack...
It was a literal rag doll.
It was a big old
Banana
rag thing, and it danced, and I didn't like it.
Played by Steven Tyler.
It could have been played by Steven Tyler.
Cameo by Steven Tyler.
Yeah, I think probably what annoyed me more than anything about that was that it gave me access to a dancer that I did not want at this point in the
Yeah,
movie.
that's true.
I'm like, oh god, just imagine the thing being really pleased with itself because it managed to fall with its legs all crossed.
I studied mine. I always feel like Steven Tyler looked like an unwrapped
Why
mummy
are you talking
version.
about Steven Tyler?
Because if you took Matt Dillon,
Welcome to my marriage.
yeah, if you took Matt Dillon
Boston
and
thing.
mummified Matt Dillon and then dug him up and unwrapped him, he'd look like Steven Tyler.
Fed him a burger from Wahlburgers.
Yeah. When he got chlamydia from Wahlburgers, from an undercooked Wahlburger. I don't know if that's...
Was it Wahlburgers made out of koalas?
Yeah, the koala burgers. Yeah, the Wahlburgers have ears, is what I say, and they're cauliflowered. But I'm not here to talk about the Wahlbergs. Although
Steven Tyler, for some reason.
Steven Tyler looks like a mummy version of Matt Dillon, and I
get that. I can see that. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Weirdly, Kevin Dillon made two of my favorite horror movies:
That is weird.
The Blob remake, '88, and Remote Control.
Oh, you do like
It's a
that
great
one.
movie. Yeah,
I actually really like The Blob. Yeah.
yeah. Well, you say
I
it like
don't.
that's shocking. I just told you it was one of my favorite
I don't
movies.
like it because of that horrible hand thing.
Oh yeah, the old
People's-
man gets his hand eaten.
Oh no!
Here's what I love about the Blob remake, and then we'll go away. Del Close of Second City Improv Del Close Marathon fame is in a rare film appearance in the Blob as an evil preacher. That's pretty exciting.
That's spooky.
Anyway, Mr. Boogedy, yeah, watch it if you want.
Hey, I would say spooky at times, pretty fun, a little scary for tiny children, so don't make that mistake.
Yeah.
But kind of fun for preteens. They'll think, oh, you're stupid, Dad. But they'll enjoy it. And, a bit of spookiness for the holiday of the Halloween.
Boy, she's a lot better at this than you.
She is. That's why I don't have her on.
He says that every single time, and I don't know when people are going to start realizing it's true.
I do.
Start
That's
your
why I don't have her on. So you'd recommend, Sam? Rachel's recommending.
I would recommend sitting down. I'm going to actually watch Bride of Boogie tomorrow. Because
You're going to make your kid watch it with you?
I'll probably watch it while she's at school.
Okay.
Oh my God, you're such a bad dad.
Well, no, because she'd have to see the first one I just watched.
Have her call in sick. Let her stay home.
Would she have to watch the first one?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's what you do.
Wait, because you say so and you're king of the
You
house?
can't just start with a sequel.
Sure you can.
Come on.
Unless it's Evil Dead 2.
Come on, did you make her watch all the everything ever in the right order?
Yeah.
Are you that kind of person?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that poor kid.
Wow.
You can
Wow.
tell her if she wants to come and live with the Reids instead, we've got a spare room.
We do. And we already have a little girl. We have a daughter, and it's a black poodle named Teddy, who's a boy.
Yeah, so she'd have someone to play with.
We've revealed
You're
too
already
much.
married to a little girl.
That's what?
I think he was talking to me at that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't saying that I'm younger than I
So
look.
I would say I would recommend like Escape from Witch Mountain. I would recommend
That's
like,
not spooky. That's nothing to do with witches.
I think there's Christopher Lee's in it though.
Not as anything that spooky.
Christopher Lee being in it doesn't necessarily mean it's...
He's just
Spooks.
English. He's
Yeah,
not spooky.
spooks.
He's just
Spooks.
English.
Yeah. Then Something Wicked This Way Comes, something like that. I would not recommend the Gnome Mobile. I would not recommend Dobie
Sorry, is that
O'Gill and the
a-
Little People.
What's the Gnome Mobile?
Oh, it's the worst Disney movie of all time.
No, but it does have like a tune.
The Gnome Mobile in the Gnome Mobile. We're riding along in the Gnome Mobile. It's about a car that's magic and gnomes live in it.
Do they live in it?
Yeah.
Or just use it as transportation?
I think they live in it. I don't know. It's
Are they
the worst movie.
superheroes?
No, I could never
No, they're
watch.
gnomes.
Yeah, it's terrible. Anyway, I would recommend those instead. Or Bedknobs and Broomsticks,
Oh, no, don't recommend that.
which is like if Mary Poppins was a witch, right?
Kind of. The thing about Bedknobs and Broomsticks, love it, love it, love it. Watch the first 45 minutes. Go to bed for an hour. Then come back and watch the end of it. Because there's a whole hour in the middle where they go to London and they all dance with their cockneys and they go to the Piccadilly Circus or something.
Yeah.
No, it's not Piccadilly Circus. It's Portobello Road.
What about Candleshoe? Isn't that
Oh,
a bit
that's
spooky?
lovely. There is a little bit of spookiness because there's a haunted chapel or something. It's not haunted. They just have a
Homeless person.
They know that it's in England. That's
Gypsies.
That's what makes it spooky.
The gypsies make it spooky.
Yeah. I always thought Candleshoe was about ghosts.
No,
Oh, okay.
you're completely wrong. 100%.
What am I thinking of?
Ghosts? You're thinking of the film Ghost with Demi Moore.
Oh, you're right. And she makes a candle shoe out of pottery,
She has a shoe that looks like a candle.
which is what you put on goat feet.
Yeah, a candle shoe.
Yeah. Anyway, is a candle shoe a thing? Is that like a candlestick?
If I told you, why would you even have to watch the movie?
That's true. That's the titular line.
but the
and
thing
it's-
is, though, Jodie Foster, always good.
oh yeah, Jodie Foster's never not good in anything.
She's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's all we have to say about Mr. Boogedy. People dress up like him at conventions. Ladies make a sexy Mr. Boogedy costume.
If you dare.
So a sexy undead pilgrim,
Yeah, with a gross face.
magical
Yeah.
pilgrim.
Well, look, listen, people from Leg Avenue who make all the sluttiest looking costumes
Yeah.
at Spirit
Yeah,
Halloween.
I
Also,
like that you know that.
because it's a whole wall of things and it's such a weird name. I want them to do like a weird This American Life or something about Leg Avenue. Like just what goes
Oh
on
my
there.
God, I totally thought, when I heard you say This American Life, I totally thought that you were saying My So-Called Life.
Yes.
And I was like...
Angela Chase works at Leg Avenue.
So
Leg Avenue makes a Brian
I was
Krakow
like, don't
costume.
tell everyone your deepest, darkest
Sexy
things,
Brian
Henry.
Krakow.
there's two sexy costume companies. There's Leg Avenue and there's another one. I can't remember what the name of it was, but the other one is actually
Is it something to do with bedazzled crotches?
no. Well, I mean, I guess
it should be.
technically. The other one is like their competition, and it's owned by like Ruby's, the bigger costume company.
Oh, it's like they're dirty under the counter, like subcontinent.
Yeah, but Leg Avenue is its own company, and they had a
Is it called Legs Apart Avenue? The other one? I don't know.
Well, it's
I made a
short for
joke.
Electric Avenue, which is actually the name of the owner. Yeah, I'm Electric Avenue, and these are my sexy costumes.
Electric Avenue
Oi!
Junior.
I'll tell you, when they were at the trade show that I was at a few years ago,
who?
Leg Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Their
Not the fictional
their
character
setup
we've
was
just
a big
invented.
like weird fantasy castle, and it was the most uncomfortable.
Well,
thing
they're
to
sex
wear.
people.
Yeah.
I mean, most of those costumes are for sex people.
No sex people.
Yeah, they're not for Halloween.
I was there doing being a corporate spy, and I was under the guise of a different company name and going around and gathering catalogs to give to my boss.
Did you wear a disguise?
No, I was still me, but which made it even worse.
Come on, you had a legitimate opportunity to wear a disguise.
I thought
But
we
I
were
was-
wrapping up, and now he's opened up this whole new
yeah.
vein.
Corporate espionage career.
Also, why would your boss want a Legs Avenue?
It was about
Catalog.
any possible
Yeah, right.
like Halloween
Yeah, right.
costume.
Yeah, right.
So
Well, I don't know
your
about
company
him,
that I
but-
don't think we can name is going to go into the sexy costume business? I think not.
This was
You
the
don't
other
know.
company, which totally would have.
Oh, okay.
You've met that guy.
Yeah, that guy's sexy.
Don't speak about Ronald McDonald. That way.
He's not even a Leg Avenue. He's like a Leg Street.
Oh my God, I totally thought you were going to be like a Shin Road or something.
Shin Road. Isn't that traveling Chinese?
No, I knew you were going to say Chinese or something.
Isn't that it's like a big Chinese opera thing that they always have the posters up for everywhere? Shinro.
Shenyun. I
God
love
damn
saying
it,
that.
you guys.
I love
Yeah.
saying
You guys are
Shenyun.
real racist today.
Can I
Are we?
We weren't.
You're telling me
saying
Leg Avenue doesn't have a sexy Shin costume?
Oh my god. Shenyun. I love saying
A
it.
Chinese
It's so beautiful.
railroad worker.
Well, you brought that up.
Wait, real world?
The Chinese real world. Yeah, it's about 7 strangers picked to live in a house and have their lives taped. True story. Sexy John Brennan. Now there's a Lake Avenue costume.
Was he from San Francisco?
No, it was L.A.
See, I knew you'd
He's
know.
the one who left his styrofoam everywhere. There's styrofoam.
Stop it.
Clean it up.
Stop it.
Sexy John Brennan.
There's some behind the scenes Reid hits
Yeah.
coming out of here.
Anyway, Leg Avenue, make a Mr. Boogedy costume. Mm-hmm. You don't, because they're the what's that rip-off movie company that does all the really lame rip-offs of like blockbuster horror movies? You know what I'm talking about? Like if Jurassic Park comes out, they'll make one called like Jurassic City, and
we talking
Yeah.
about New World.
it's not New World. It's like a company that does it now. Like,
Well, Jurassic stuff is a while
yeah,
ago.
people will know. I can't think of the name now. But anyway, Lake Avenue's
What?
like kind of the version of that where they don't have anything officially licensed. So they'd call it like Mrs. Boogers or something like that. It'd
Yeah.
be like Sexy Mrs. Boogers. And yeah, they could do it.
Snotty Pilgrim.
Yeah, the Snotty Pilgrim.
That's the costume right there.
We played with them once at the Rat, the Snotty Pilgrims. I am punchy. It's late. This is way past my bedtime. The dogs are all asleep. So it's any parting Halloween messages. I've eaten 6 or 7 glow-in-the-dark Reese's peanut butter cups, and I
Imagine
can't wait to
what-
see my poo.
Oh, god damn you for being faster than me at the
Yeah,
same
yep.
punchline as usual
Yep.
because we're married.
It's almost like when you have to drink that barium because you're going to get an upper GI. You could just eat like 3 or 4 of these glow-in-the-dark Reese's peanut butter cups.
just the rapper.
Oh,
in the dark.
well, good thing.
Oh my god, I can't believe that we were both like, oh my god, my poop is gonna glow. And then sounds like, guys, settle down.
He's the Reese's. I'm the rapper. Good thing I didn't unwrap them before I ate them. Joke's on you.
Wait, did you just say that you're a rapper? Please don't ever be a rapper.
Do you think like Avenue ever did like a sexy rapper costume, like a Flavor Flav, like it's a big clock around your neck, but it's actually like 2, so it looks like a bra,
Oh.
I think you should work for them.
and they'd go, "Yeah, girls,"
Talk
or
about
something.
idea, man.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Hey, Leg Avenue, I will do consulting
should we,
work.
Should we just put this out as a Valentine episode instead? 'Cause
Dear Leg Avenue,
this whole thing is just all
we
about...
got to rock down to Leg Avenue. Oi!
Don't yell oi into your microphone.
But that's what he says. And Electric Avenue. Electric Avenue. Electric
you-
Avenue the Third.
I thought you were doing John Candy giving a review.
Oh, no.
No, I thought that's what you were doing.
Yeah, we're getting into SCTV territory
Yeah.
here. Oi.
Yeah.
Anyway, also, there used to be a ridiculous band here in Boston that were all skinheads, and they had a song where one of the guys who was a big dude, skinhead dude,
Wait,
had
you just described every band
I know,
ever
I know.
from Boston.
he had a really high-pitched voice, and then
Again.
in the song, he would repeat the chorus, and then the chorus, what's that?
Was it mass hysteria?
No. But the guy goes, oi! And then this guy goes, oi! So it's like, oi, oi! And then the song says the word drink. He's like, gotta drink. And it's not a joke. And,
It's not a joke.
Yeah. And yeah.
Tis now.
It is now.
Tis now.
It is now. There was speaking of Tom Fatkins, there was a chubby.
Do you remember when you told me about that when that had happened?
Yeah, I do.
And I said to you, oh my god, you should have called him Tom Fatkins. And Ken goes, oh, I did.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, we're married.
There was a chubby skinhead kid that everyone called the Pillsbury Boot Boy. I don't think he knew they called him that.
Well done.
Is a boot boy someone that is a boy and wears boots?
Yeah, like skinhead dudes would call themselves like boot boys, which...
Would they call themselves that?
Yeah, they'd be like, we're the Brighton Boot Boys, we're the Boot Boy crew, which sounds like Leg Avenue, but for fellas.
I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, this is getting... who knows where this is going?
Good luck editing this.
Oh, I'm not editing a thing. Nothing. I'm not editing a thing out of this. If you're still listening to this, just come on over. We're still here.
It's 1:05 in the morning.
Yeah. Anyway, happy
Drive
Halloween,
time.
everybody. Any parting Halloween
No, you've
thoughts?
already asked us that. That's dangerous.
But you haven't
Just
shared
get on
them.
with it.
Okay, that's Rachel. Sam,
What?
any Halloween parting thoughts?
Stay spooky.
Oh, that's a lovely sentiment.
That is nice. That's nice.
So spooky.
And I would just say, boogity, boogity, boogity.
You woke up the dog.
Sorry. All right.
Sorry.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Oh, baby, I see you in my TV set. Yeah, baby, I see you in my TV set. I cut your head off and put it in my...
There you go. That was Mr. Boogedy. Recommend watching it. I haven't watched Bride yet. I'll have to follow up with Sam and see if it is worth watching. If you would like to email me, you can do so at tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com or ken@icanread.com. Of course, icanread.com being my stand-up comedy page where you can buy things. You can buy my albums. You can buy TV Guidance Counselor merchandise. You can see where there are live dates coming up. You can also go to Patreon. Go to patreon.com/TV Guidance Counselor, where you can donate $1 a month to the show or $20,000 a month to the show, whatever, or nothing. But if you want to go there, that is hugely helpful to the show. You can go on Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter. We are at TV Guidance on Instagram and Twitter, and TV Guidance Counselor on Facebook. I am at Kenneth W. Reid on Instagram and Twitter, and Ken Reid Comedian on Facebook. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in November for another episode of TV Guidance Counselor.
Well, would you like to come in or have a cup of coffee? Is it something about coffee, dear? Something that's painful for ghosts about coffee?